.40 caliber barrel. And as you can see, it's had a breech in it. Actually, I breeched it. But when they tapped it in such a manner that they ran the tap into the end of the barrel, the shoulder. End of the shoulder, not the end of the barrel, but the end of the shoulder. And what this does is it gives grooves that powder fouling can seep into. And this barrel, the threads were completely black. I used STP to lube them with. And apparently what I had done is I had not checked this careful enough. It looked okay in the white, but now that it's been shot and used for a year or two, it shows quite a bit of powder fouling and maybe even a little bit of rust in the places where the fouling was trapped. Because it's not only a fouling trap, it's a water trap as well. We're going to fix it. Okay, this is for a 5/8 breech plug. So it has to be about the tap drill size, which is 37/64. You can obtain 27/64, or excuse me, 37/64 drill rod from suppliers like MSC, Industrial, and some others, which will allow you to have the right diameter so you don't have to turn it down on the lathe. This is cold rolled. I just turned it on the lathe, and later I'll case harden it to make it hard enough to cut steel. What we have to do here is cut some teeth in it. And to start these, I'm using a Dremel tool. And just cut a notch. And just keep. You don't have to be terribly deep, but you do need a hole in the end for file clearance. This hole is about 5/16 in diameter, just a hair over that. And these teeth don't have to be perfectly done as you might find on a modern machine-made piece. In fact, have them staggered a little bit will help keep them from shattering if you're using a power tool to drive it. This can be driven with a hand brace and bit. And it may be necessary to deepen these a little bit. Before we're done. Okay. We need to make sure we cut these in the right direction so they cut on a right-hand turn. Which, of course, I have to stop and think about since I haven't made one of these in quite some time. Okay. And we can start a little bit of a relief here with a Dremel tool. Remove a little metal with our power tool, so we don't necessarily have to take it all out with a file. And I goofed up a little bit there. It'll work. Okay, to fully form the teeth, we have to go around and file. So just like in the 18th century or the 19th, there's a lot of filing goes on. This is a safe-sided file, so I don't have to worry about getting against the cutting edge. Rough it down a little ways with that. Switch to a smaller needle file. And tune it up a little more. Primary thing is not to get against the tooth on the other side as you're filing. It's one of the reasons there's a hole, because it gives you some filing clearance. This is not going to be a super clean job. But it'll do what we need to do when we're done, and that's the primary thing. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing it. I've just worked on this a few minutes, and I think we've got a usable cutter already. A little crude looking, a little rough here and there. Got to tune up these teeth just a little bit. And they still show a few Dremel 2 marks here and there. But it's got a tooth. Hopefully that's in focus. And it's not. This thing doesn't close focus very well. But hopefully this will show up on a bigger screen. It's only taken less than a quarter of an hour to build this so far. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go put it in the forge, heat it up, and treat it with caseinite. You can use cherry red too as another case hardening compound to harden them to the point that it'll cut the steel without just immediately going dull. One other thing is all the filing that we've done. We've burred this a little bit. So I'm going to take a larger mill file and just turn it against the mill file enough to break those burrs down so they don't scratch the threaded part of the barrel, and so they fit properly. Okay, it's about ready to pull out. And we'll stick it in the case. Dip it back in the caseinite again, just to drive the case hardening a little deeper, and we'll quench it in water. We're out of the quench, and as you can see, there's some caseinite still stuck to the part. I will clean that off with a wire brush, and then we'll try it in the barrel and see how we work. The gray color indicates that yes, you've got a case on it. And it's plenty hard enough to cut steel. Okay, our part is hard. Now I've got this in an electric drill, but it'll work just as well by hand in a brace and bit, or you could even turn it with a tap handle. If you make one out of drill rod, you can drill both ends, and in the other end you can tap it and just screw a bolt in there or a piece of rod that will go into a drill, and you can spin it that way or use it for a handle or whatever's necessary. Let's see how this thing works. Well, we cleaned out some of the crud that was in there. And it is cutting. We're getting some steel shavings. It's not a fast cut, but we don't want a fast cut. And it's cleaned up about 75% of the notches already. In fact, I think I'll do a little film of that if you can see it. I don't know if that'll show up or not. But you can see the difference between now and then. You can also see how the tap cut into it as it was turned. Trying not to cut this too deep. But she's cleaning it out. It's a little slow. I'm going to go get some cutting oil. Okay, I'll give a little shot of tap magic here. Almost there. Okay, I think we got it. I'm going to have to clean that hole out. It's got some shavings and stuff in it now, stuck with the, gunked up with the cutting. Okay, it's looking pretty good. I don't know if you could be able to see it in there or not. But there's one spot, one tiny little spot right at the edge of the bore that I still have to take out. So we're going to give it another go with our cutter. It's still got some oil on it, clean the chips away. Okay, that looks a lot better. And again, I'll go in and deburr it just with a sharp, small sharp bladed knife, and just deburr the very edges around the bore so that there's no sharp edge there. And we'll be done, and it's just a matter then of fitting the breech properly. I might add that this is going on a Maori action, which is what it just came off of. As I said, I didn't realize that the end of the shoulder had been damaged like that when I breeched it originally. And I can face off the end of the barrel and then simply rebait the threads slightly on that Maori, because the threads are very long. As you can see, this is a pretty deep hole.